And now to the closeness between Rotary and Inner Wheel. It was brought home to me yesterday when I sought to introduce Thelma to one of my district governors, who said, yes, her husband's in my club. So there it is. But it's been really privilege this year to get to know Thelma and her warmth and kindness, and I invite her to come along and address you.
It's yours. Messages for you. Sorry. President Peter, honoured guests, Rotarians, fellow members of Inner Wheel, friends, good afternoon. As a child, I was always taught the importance of saying thank you. And I'm reminded of the little girl who, on coming home from a birthday party, was asked by her mother if she had thanked her hostess as she was leaving. Well, she said, I was going to, but the little boy in front of me said thank you to Mary's mother, and she said, don't mention it, so I didn't. But today, thanks must indeed be mentioned for the kind invitation to join you here and for the warm and friendly hospitality that Chris and I have received. A special mention must always also be made to our host and hostess, or should that be minders, Alistair and Margaret, who have looked after us wonderfully to ensure that so far we have been in the right place at the right time. Which reminds me again of when I was a young girl visiting an historic house and being of a somewhat romantic nature with theatrical tendencies, they took over. And I went into raptures about how wonderful it would have been if I'd lived in an age where I would wear long gowns that swept gracefully along the terrace as I walked. My dear, said my mother, that's a lovely thought, but the only place you would be sweeping is the scullery. Seriously though, being in the right place at the right time could also be summed up in the one word, fate. And for me, who when first invited to an Inner Wheel meeting, left home saying, I'll go, but I'm definitely not getting involved, fate certainly played a part. Fate in the shape of a cup of coffee, handed to me with a smile, a welcoming smile of friendship that dissolved my resolution not to join and set me on the Inner Wheel road to today. Quite a journey, you could say, for it is a privilege and an honour to wear this chain, accepting the responsibilities it brings and recognising the importance of the office of Association President, but firmly believing that as individual members, we are all equal. Henry Frederick Amiel said, our duty is to be useful, not according to our desires, but according to our powers. As with Rotary, our Inner Wheel Constitution brings us together in unity, not uniformity, each of us giving uniquely of ourselves as much as we are able, working together in friendship. Membership for both our organisations is a challenge, both to recruit and to retain, as is the need to widen awareness about who we are and what we do. Change, too, is a challenge and takes us outside our comfort zone, but we must step out if we are to move forward. In life, the choices we make define who we are. We can choose to ignore what is happening, however hard that might be, or we can choose to try and make a difference, touch the lives of others for good. Maybe it doesn't always work, but we can keep trying. The avenues we follow to achieve our goals may differ, but our desire for growth and the furtherance of our ideals well into the future is constant for us both. Travelling the districts as I am this year, I have been heartened by the myriad forms of hands-on service undertaken by Inner Wheel members across the whole of GB&I, and marvelled that last year alone they raised over £1.5 million in their own right for local, national and international charities and good causes. Not to mention the many hours they have spent working together in reciprocal support with their corresponding Rotary clubs and districts. 4. With Rotary and Inner Wheel working alongside, the consequences have been far-ranging. Our two logos, the symbol of care and continuity in a world constantly challenging and changing. Inner Wheel was conceived in Manchester over 90 years ago, in 1923, when 27 Rotarians' wives were invited to meet together and take tea. Encouraged by their Rotarian husbands to start a club along Rotary lines, their objects of friendship and service, our Constitution still today defines. Their meeting place, the Turkish Baths in Deansgate. They met at 3:30. The reason for this strange venue? It was the only room they could get for free. Word quickly spread until in 1928, at the RIBI conference, the question, "What can women do for Rotary?" was earnestly discussed. The points made so inspired the Rotarians' wives present that they were not nonplussed, but straightway convened further meetings, forming clubs in their own locality, working hands-on in the community until just 5 years later, in 1933, at another RIBI conference in Scarborough, maybe in the Floral Hall, a decision there was taken of some importance to us all. The time had come for a central organisation to unite all the clubs existing, each region given a number corresponding to its Rotary Club's district listing. And thus, in 1934, the Association of Inner Wheel Clubs Great Britain and Ireland came into being, a tribute to those first Manchester ladies whose ideals had been so far-seeing. Now, 80 years on, though we serve differently, as statutory regulations become more demanding, like Rotary, the association is still firmly committed to friendship, personal service, and international understanding. And we are mindful that here in GB&I, we are acknowledged as part of the Rotary family, helping with the workload at many events such as Youth Speaks, Young Musician, Blood Pressure Awareness Days and Kids Out, the cooperation plain to see. While meetings between presidential officers of both Inner Wheel Association and RIBI gives us the opportunity to discuss different aspects, membership and development ideas, consider joint projects we could try. Rotary, the district dictionary tells us, means turning round a central pivot, just as a wheel. A definition that succinctly connects our two organisations, I very firmly feel. May we always interconnect, like cogwheels, moving in sync for greater force, for the benefit of others, and increasing the fellowship too, of course. Our themes this year are very similar, and some that we should certainly hone. For it said, "You can't hold a torch to light another's path without brightening your own." So as we endeavour to light the path, and you continue to light up Rotary, there is just one thing left to say, or so it seems to me. Assembled Rotarians, I commend you. You have a proud 110-year history of voluntary service to treasure. The greetings from all the members of Inner Wheel in GB&I proffer with great pleasure. Thank you.
Lovely banner. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your warm greetings, and the same reciprocal to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Walter.